Hello, everybody. Lawrence Sandler here with 3D Crystal and Cockpit 3D. So just continuing on with our behind the scenes episodes. It was time to do another one because we're ramping up for Christmas. And
Indeed, we are.
as we all know out there, it represents a good chunk of our year, especially when the other part of our year has been compromised by lockdown. So it's more important than ever that we all hit it out of the park for this Christmas season. So Riyaz, how do we get last year's customers to come back? How do we get all the friends and family of last year's customers to come for the first time? How do we get the recurring business? How do we get the new business? How do we get sticky with our sales when everybody and their uncle's online these days? So how do we do it? What do we do? What do we do?
Actually, it's amazing. Everything that you asked in your question talks to the moments of truth that we had discussed we would be doing an episode on. So actually, I'm going to answer that with the moments of truth. You're asking, how do we get customers back? Getting customers back is loyalty. That's the third moment of truth. So let me back up here for a moment. Okay, I spent a good number of years working for Procter & Gamble. When I started working with them, 1999, they had a handful of billion-dollar brands. Today, they have 23 billion-dollar brands and growing. Billion-dollar brand meaning that brand, Tide, Pampers, for example, Olay, will bring in $1 billion a year. Okay.
Wow.
So how do they do it? Well, I had this privilege of kind of being behind the scenes and working directly with executive level and reporting to. At that time, I was privileged to be working under renowned A.G. Lafley, who pretty much brought Procter & Gamble from a very, very difficult situation that it was in to being, again, a superhero of a company. So I remember the shares when I was joining were somewhere around $49, and they went on to a few $100s and with splits, etc. So,
well, I hope you got a few on hire.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know what? That's the key thing about being a part of it. It's not just your salary. It's about what you're doing to invest and kind of take that ownership. And that's exactly what we talk about here, right? Is that when you're running your own business, what is it beyond the salary? What is it that you're doing to really build the equity in your company and putting your blood, sweat, tears, and of course, your phenomenal, brilliant ideas. So what were the ideas that we were being trained on, the way that we were being taught to think, so we could then not only enjoy the growth in the share price, but contribute to it for the long term. All right. So that's where at that Procter & Gamble, it was 2 moments of truth. I have made it into 3 moments of truth. So the first moment of truth, okay, this is golden. So out of all the videos that we've talked about or that we've done, this here is something that really needs to be soaked in. For those of you that are watching, soak this one in. Number 1 is, what are you doing to get the potential customer, to know about you? That's number 1, just to know about you or to know about your product, okay? Because everybody is competing for real estate, physical and psychological.
Virtually online.
Exactly. From the moment that you get up, everyone is competing to have your attention, whether it be by way of radio as you're driving to work, on your mobile device through social media, on your mobile or laptops through emails that are coming at you, on the phone when someone calls you to ask you something, to get your opinion on something. They're making you think, they want your ideas, they want you to contribute. Everybody is competing for your attention. So back in the day when we were told you have 3 seconds to get that customer's attention when they walk by your shop, we thought that was short. Well, guess what? Today, it's under a second. It's the thumb. Swiping up the screen is the time you have to get that customer's attention, that potential customer's attention. So what are you doing? What are you doing with your images? What are you doing with your audio? What are you doing with your video? What are you doing with your quotations, with your one-liners, with your titles, with your product shots? What are you doing to get that person somewhat interested? We're not even talking about a sale. We're talking about just getting them somewhat interested to read more, to learn more, to find out more, to click and go to your website and see what you got to offer. That's the first moment of truth. And that's winning at the first moment of truth. You'll notice winning at the first moment of truth today is not even a sale. It's just getting their attention. Remember that. Their attention is valuable. is so valuable. The time, the mind, the mind frame, the fact that they're giving you some attention is so valuable. That's step number one. Moment number two is winning the sale. Winning the sale over all the other noise that they're hearing and that they're exposed to. So in my day at Procter & Gamble, when we were working on planograms, winning at that moment of truth, that used to be the first moment of truth. Okay, now in my formula, it's the second moment of truth, because the first moment of truth was attention. So now winning at the second moment of truth is when they decide to choose your product over the competitor. That's winning at the second moment of truth. When, for example, they see all these ads in our world, it's 3D crystal. Well, maybe they had a choice of purchasing a painted canvas of a photo, or a photo mug, or a photo frame, or a photo shirt, and they chose a custom 3D crystal. That's me winning at the second moment of truth, irrespective of whether they bought it from my website or from a wholesaler's website or from anyone else selling a 3D crystal website. At the end of the day, we're all connected, right? We're supplying raw material, we're supplying conversions, we're supplying the laser hub to produce for them. So it doesn't really matter. I'm not talking about specifically them buying from a particular domain. I'm talking about them buying the product, okay? And that's winning at the second moment of truth. For a business owner selling their own products, their second moment of truth will actually be the conversion happening on their particular website. I'm looking at it from a broader perspective. You understand my point, right, Lawrence? Is that
absolutely,
it's not specific to the transaction on my till. It's a contribution to the industry is where I'm looking at it, right?
Yeah, if there's mind share, then we all win.
Exactly. Okay, so that's the second moment of truth. So again, I'm going to reiterate. First moment of truth is getting their attention. The second moment of truth is getting them to choose you over your competitor. Okay, now here's the beauty. This was always the one I love the most, was the third moment of truth. The third moment of truth is when the customer interacts with your product, when they receive your product, when they use your product, when their five senses are engaged with your product, and their experience is so positive from the moment that they're unboxing it, to the moment that they're laying eyes on it, to the moment that they're utilizing it or using it. Their experience is so positive that they are now going to want to purchase the same product again from you, and not from your competitor or not an alternative, but they're going to want to always purchase from you. And that's winning at the third moment of truth, getting the loyalty that now you've earned and won that customer for life. These are the three moments of truth. And if you're asking me for my advice on how to win this holiday season, to anybody watching this, I'll say keep these moments of truth in mind. Make sure that you're creative with how you're going to get their attention. Make sure that you are creative with, once you have their attention, what you're going to do to convince them to choose you. And finally, make sure that you're honest, because when they get your product, if they like it, then you've earned them for life.
Well, 3 moments of truth sounds like it's easy as 1, 2, 3. I think we can close on that.
Subscribe, like, and share. Thanks for watching.